Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Happy Wednesday. It's been crazy.
Hump day.
Happy hump day.
Hump day. We made it.
We made it.
It has been crazy. We're crazy, but we're here.
We're here and we look somewhat presentable. We got YouTube on the bottom, Facebook on top. So if we go between the two, we apologize.
Cross-eyed a little bit.
So now that we have him on YouTube, you don't have to join us live. It's so much easier for you guys to watch. We're getting great feedback from that.
Yes.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't, so that you get a notification when the video is uploaded. And I just started adding notes, like when you do the summary and I email them out. Yeah. I've added all those notes. I've started adding them underneath every single video.
Also? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. You're so tech savvy.
I will say that her notes are very high level. You're going to get so much more detail if you actually...
thorough.
Yeah.
I try.
Well, I feel like yours are at very high level. I feel like there's a lot more detail that people miss if they don't actually listen. Like stories of other clients that they can relate to.
Oh, yeah, I can't type all that.
Right, which we don't expect you to.
No, you get the highlights. That's what you mean by highlights. Yes. You get the highlights. Yeah. I try to be thorough with the highlights.
The fact that you do that for them, I think, is amazing.
The bullets. But I put links in there. So in your email, in the recap, you should be able to click to the YouTube link to subscribe.
Yeah, to our channel. Yep, perfect. Oh, 9 of you have already hopped on. That's amazing because we've got some good giveaways today.
A little test for this time, even though it's not a normal time.
Wrapping up week 4.
Woo!
Rolling into the hardest weeks of the shred, of the fat loss stage, unless you're one of our clients that's living in maintenance or building muscle. It's the hardest part. Motivation will not get you through the last 3 weeks. That's why we talk about all of these things that you have been learning have to become a habit. Something I will say, I want to share a client story, and this is why specifically we came up with the annual shred. Her husband joined her. This is his 3rd shred. He's shredded twice before. He did really well on his first shred. He had to get all of his clothes taken in. She's an amazing shredder. She's a graduate. Second shred, he kind of coasted, didn't really go all in.
I think he coasted maintenance-wise, but still had progress.
But he was supposed to be shredding. Still had a little bit of progress, but the 3rd one had to buy a whole new wardrobe. And he made the realization and just told his wife, like, it takes this long to, for him, it took 3 shreds and kind of skipping that second one. Not skipping, but not going all in to make it a lifestyle. And everything in life has gotten so much easier for him from... or like living in the heat here in Texas is so much easier now that he's lost some of the fat, and exercising is easier, playing with the kids and having the energy because they have 3 busy kids.
Yes.
So loved hearing that from a man, not just a woman, that, sometimes even if you're in the annual, which we've talked about this as well, Audra's talked about this before, where it's like you do really, really, really well, and then life happens, and then you do okay, and then you finish it really well, but it's all become a lifestyle. You've repaired your metabolism, even when you don't go all in, where you're trying to eat maintenance and you're trying to get the sleep that you're supposed to, get your water in, trying to get all your protein in, maybe not totally tracking like you're supposed to. Right. Those are creating habits to create a healthy lifestyle. So just wanted to talk about a male testimony. I thought that was amazing. I loved hearing that realization that sometimes the reason it does really take you, typically, unless you're really type A, to go through several shreds to make it a lifestyle.
Or if you're like me and another client we just spoke with this morning who, sometimes I like to refer to it as a science experiment. I don't know why I think I can, come up with my own rules sometimes, or not really focused on water that day, or not really focused on movement for a little while, but I have honed it in on this shred. Yeah. And I can tell a big difference.
Yeah, and so can other people. Yeah. And it happens faster.
It does happen faster. Your body knows and it responds quicker, so that's exciting. This client, she said, I have to find it. Her wording was pretty hilarious. Actually, I don't have it in front of my face, but she was just like, I haven't been feeling that great for a few months, but I'm back on track. I'm back on my workout. I'm back on, following my macros. And guess what? I feel great, and I have energy and anxiety. She pointed that out. And
less anxiety.
She has less anxiety. Thank you. I respond the same.
Oh, really?
I do. I understand what she's saying with, I have more anxiety when I'm not following my macros.
Interesting.
I do. I have less, like none, when I follow them.
Yeah.
So that hit home with me.
Awesome.
That's cool.
I wanted to talk about some research that I recently read. I didn't dig in really deep, and I'll go into it, but talking about migraines, and I've talked about, I always say it's hormone replacement therapy, and how supplementing with estradiol helped me get rid of my migraines, and now I don't have them at all, and I don't have to supplement with estradiol anymore. But for those of you that get bad headaches or migraines, they're showing that magnesium can really help. So digging in deeper, we recommend magnesium. Calcium is really big because calcium helps your muscles contract.
Okay.
Magnesium, these are 3 things to help you naturally with migraines. Magnesium helps your muscles relax. But the one that they're really focusing in now is omega-3.
That's interesting.
Because a lot of people are really deficient in omega-3. They're really high in omega-6s because of their diet. Because omega-3s are in healthy fats, and most people are consuming unhealthy fats where the omega-6s come in. So I thought that was really interesting. Omega-6 is one of the ones that we highly recommend. And that's why we like Ritual. That's why we like the new 3 that we recommend, because the omega is in the packet. You don't have to take anything separately.
You said omega-6 is the one we recommend.
No, omega-3.
Okay.
Omega-3.
I just want to make sure I have
omega-6 is what we don't recommend. Omega-3 is what we recommend.
That's
it's in the
what we
Shred Guide. You knew I misspoke if you've read the Shred Guide.
I did, but I
it was
needed
a
to
little
make sure.
test. It was a little test. Have you been reading the Shred Guide? No, just
and was
kidding.
I listening? Yeah.
You knew. Yeah, you absolutely knew.
All right. So 333. That's what we want.
Yeah. So having a problem with headaches, of course, hydration, calcium, magnesium, omega-3. But that was interesting.
Sleep, all the things.
Yeah, and hormones, but sometimes people, it's not a hormone issue. It's not a sleep issue. They just suffer with
interesting.
them.
Well, I hear some people and they'll take some hard medication that has crazy side effects.
For migraines, it's bad.
To me, I'm like, okay, if it's omega-3, I mean, that's not something to me that's like hard to try.
Right.
It's not going to hurt you to try it.
Right.
It's not going to give you bad side effects.
And exactly. And you have to be consistent, right? You can't be like, oh, I took omega-3, it didn't help.
Well, that's like me. You can't do one day of a shred and be like, what the heck? Like, why did I not reach my goal yet?
Exactly. You have to be consistent and take your supplements every single day. But just a thought that was interesting. Wanted to share.
You shared that, yeah.
You had something about Aura that you wanted to share?
I did. So it's a little lengthy, but I'll try to summarize it up. Summer it up. You like that?
I do like that. We invent words as fitness teachers, group fitness teachers. We like put 2 words together, make up words. I almost said something over the mic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, today. I caught myself just in time.
So every once in a while, Aura. First of all, I'm loving, it gives me like a weekly summary.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool to see.
It'll give you a quarterly one, too. Have you gotten your first quarterly? Yeah, you did.
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Bunny's distracted me. Sorry. Something I was going to say about the Aura. Oh, circles. I put it in the newsletter. So if you read the newsletter, you'll see that we have what's called Aura circles. So it's the kind of idea of being like a friend on MyFitnessPal, right?
Yes.
Except you're a friend in the Aura circle, and we have an MMM circle. If you want to be a part of it, text us. We'll send you an invite, and you can link in. So it's not showing like every single thing about your stats, but it is showing your, help me here, your readiness score, your sleep score, and your activity score. So that's kind of fun to see. You and I will joke around like, oh, you didn't sleep all last night, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't either. So you can kind of see scores that way. But every once in a while, Aura will send an article of some sort. This one I thought was really neat because they polled their members. So these are Aura users that gave just some tips for getting deep sleep.
Okay.
And this is something you've been working on.
No, right? I'm done with it. I nail my deep sleep.
Which one were you working on? You were working
when
on
I got my Aura ring over 2 years ago. I was working on deep sleep.
Okay, but you've nailed it.
Yeah,
you've worked. So you're gonna be able to totally relate. You could have probably written this article, but I'm gonna share them anyway. So I'm just gonna give the highlights. I'm not gonna give all the explanation behind it. And then I wonder if I can try to post this.
Okay.
And share it with you guys if you do want to read more. And someone actually did. Oh, I didn't make a note of this. She reached out this week and she's like, oh, I remember who it was now. She's like, I'm not getting good deep sleep. Do you remember this? Or she's like, I'm not getting good quality sleep. And she goes, honestly, neither is anyone in my family.
Oh.
Maybe you didn't see this.
No, I don't remember it.
So I responded with, the Sleep Smarter book that we recommend.
Oh, yes. That's
And just different things to think about with quality of sleep and kind of some suggestions. And this will go along with it, so I'm hoping she'll see our live. One of them is to take time to wind down. And we've talked about this before. We've actually had a challenge before about
And it was pathetic.
posting your nighttime
Evening
routine. And we say it was pathetic because we didn't have very many people respond. And so we think that's a struggle area for some people. And
People don't have a nighttime routine.
Hone in on what is a nighttime routine. I posted mine. Maybe I need to post it again. I think I put it on stories. Maybe I should have put on a post that stays up. But having dedicated time to wind down. People give some examples like take a bath and read some fiction before bed. I get onto my mom. She reads the news. I'm like, we don't need to know about everyone dying because of just crazy times in the world.
Right
before you're trying to go sleep.
Have nightmares.
No nightmares, please. So, winding down without my phone, being intentional about not thinking about stressors, keep a notepad next to your bed, write things down. If you do wake up worrying about something, so you can just know that it's there and you'll get to it later. It will be there later. So time to wind down. Number 2.
All I have to do is read nonfiction and I'm like, I'm out in 5 minutes. I taught Ellington how to do that, and I have her reading more because she's like, if I can't sleep, I just pick up my book, Mom.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She gets it from her mama. We fall asleep when we read.
That's good. That's a good skill. Experiment with heat or cold exposure. Thought this was kind of interesting.
Yeah, cold exposure, cold shower right before you go to bed. Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. I've never needed it. I like to take hot to relax, but actually...
It talks about both.
Yeah.
But there's some science about the cold.
Right. The science is because you want to sleep at 68 is ideal. Yeah.
I mean, it talks about why it works. Use a sauna before bed, increases blood flow to your core body temperature. As your core body temperature rises, afterwards your body cools, triggering a release of melatonin and human growth hormone, 2 important sleep hormones. So this is neat. I'm going to try to post the whole article. I'm not going to read it all to you right now. But it does talk about, a sauna, but then it also talks about cold plunges and why that works as well. So
don't forget to say hi. We have giveaways, so put it in the comments if you're here.
Cold water immersion, since I did talk about the hot, with the sauna, can activate the sympathetic nervous system. It can have the opposite effect for some people. It can energize them rather than stimulating sleepiness. You just kind of got to play with it to see how it affects your body.
Yeah, got to be in tune with your body.
But like you said, it drops your core temp, which is what happens when you sleep. Unless you eat too close to bedtime, we've talked about this too, that raises your core temp, and now it takes longer to fall asleep, and you've got a higher heart rate, and you're not getting the deep that you need, and it's just a big cycle. All right, number 3, aim to align with your natural body clock. We've talked about the circadian rhythm. I'm learning about it, right? The ring has taught me about mine. I need to see the sun between 6 and 8:30 in the morning. I used to think, get barely any sleep Monday through Friday and try to sleep on the weekends. That is what I used to think. Oh, I'll just catch up. I'll work extra hard during the week and catch up on the weekend. No, I was always dragging. And my hormones were off. My circadian rhythm was off. Going to bed and waking on I'm 10 to 6. That is my sweet spot.
You're lying.
I don't always hit it, but that's my sweet spot. That's my goal.
Yeah.
All right. Try to avoid alcohol. We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah. When I said you're a lion. So
a lion?
I read
they
about.
said I'm a lion.
A lion.
Oh.
So when I read about circadian rhythms a long time ago, the particular book I read, there's 4 different profiles. One's a lion, one's a bear, one's a wolf. I forget what the 4th one is. But John and Ellington are bears. I'm a lion. Campbell's a wolf, which is a night owl.
Oh, Steve's a wolf.
Yeah.
I'm a lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of sunrise, sun up.
Yes.
It's kind of the lion. Now 10 is later than that, but we could go to bed earlier if we didn't have things we needed to do around the house.
Oh.
I could be 9 to 6.
Oh, I could totally do that.
Yeah, which is a lion.
Fight that last hour.
A bear is somewhere in between.
Okay.
A lion and a wolf.
Gotcha.
All right, what's number 4?
Eat earlier.
Or number 5?
Oh, I just skipped over.
No
kind of.
alcohol.
I said it really quick.
Try to
just
avoid it
avoid alcohol.
It's a sedative. It does not help you sleep.
this one person, not drinking alcohol and realizing the massive impact it had on my sleep. It reduces sleep reliability. So anyways, just what people have kind of tried and kind of see what works. We've seen a lot of people tell us they've tried it and they're better without it.
Yeah.
It just for all different reasons. Eat earlier. We've talked about this too. Stop eating 3 hours before bed. Screens 2 hours.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Stop drinking.
Food, water, screen.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Okay.
Drinking water. Drinking anything that would make you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Because that can interrupt your sleep. My husband gets up at 3 a.m. almost every morning. It doesn't bother him. He goes straight back to sleep.
Oh, that's good.
But for my mom, it bothers her. She wakes up to go to the bathroom. She can't go back to sleep. So that's why you need to stop drinking fluids 2 hours before you go to bed.
Don't try to get it all in before bed.
Right. When you wake up, you're actually dehydrated, right? Your body hasn't had any fluids and it's been detoxing. And if you've gotten up in the middle of the night to pee, you're dehydrated. Yeah. So
I try to get in more than half of my water the first half of the day.
Yeah, me too. I try to get my more than half my steps, more than half my water,
all the
and
goals.
even more than half my protein. Yeah, because if I don't do it in the first half of the day,
it's hard to get.
It's probably not going to get done.
Yeah. Consider sleep promoting herbs or supplements. We've talked about these along the way as well. You just talked about magnesium.
Mm-hmm.
There's a calming tea out there, or all different kinds.
Like a chamomile tea.
Sure. And we've even talking about the calming melts or the sleep gummies from Equilibrium.
Equilibrium. Yes.
Be mindful of your evening food choices. I thought this was interesting. Even if you've had enough time between your last meal and your bedtime, you still want to be mindful of what you eat. Caffeine, sugar, was it acidic? And now it's going to affect your digestive, right? Your esophagus, spicy foods, those kind of things. For me, red meat.
Yeah, and that's really heavy. It's hard to digest.
It's harder to digest. Yeah.
And some people, it's vegetables. It's hard for them to digest vegetables.
Fiber.
Yeah. So you just, again, have to get in tune with your body, which is what Mastermind Macros is all about.
Right. I'm almost done. I know there's
you're fine.
Consider alternative therapies. That just seems kind of vague, but it's referring to maybe you need to do some breath work or meditating before bed.
Or a while ago, some of the newer charters won't know this, the book that I recommended called Breath talks about mouth taping to force yourself to breathe through your nose. That is one of the tactics I used to nail my deep sleep. 2 years ago. I read the book. I heard it on a podcast. I saw a huge fitness influencer post about it recently. I'm like, you're behind. I read it 2 years ago and recommended it to our clients 2 years ago.
Been there, done that.
But it's called Breath. Is it breath or breathe? I'm not sure. The only difference is an E on the end, right? It has a yellow cover. But yeah, so I use the technique of taping my mouth. And now they have awesome tape to use on your mouth. They didn't really back then.
So it doesn't hurt your lips.
Yeah. And it can break away easy, but it forces you to breathe through your nose, which helps you deep sleep. It's helped me significantly. You're basically training your body to not be a mouth breather. And that book is so good because it talks about all the significant problems of mouth breathers, which as a speech path.
I was going to say, I'm going to go on this I'm not going to go on this whole hiatus of speech path and mouth breathing and high palate, and it can affect your speech and make you a tongue thruster. We won't go there, but
it can also affect your sleep.
Yes, and that's what I was focusing on. So as a recap, deep sleep, the most rejuvenating stage of sleep, essential for feeling your best. A lack of deep sleep is associated with, ready? See if anyone can relate to these. Irritability, daytime fatigue, cognitive impairment, feeling foggy, and appetite changes. All right, we talked about I used to reach for snacks to stay awake at night, right? So just love the Aura. It really helps with a lot of things, but I love that article too. So I'll try to post that somewhere if I can get it to work.
Great article. Quickly, I wanted to go over, let me write Evelyn's name down real quick because we had some more people hop on for the giveaways. We've got 3 of them today. All right, so I wanted to discuss, and these are things that we're trying to teach you not to do, but these are ways that people make a fat loss stage way harder for themselves than it needs to be. So the very first one is not getting enough sleep or not getting quality sleep. So let's see, not getting enough sleep. Got to get the quality sleep. That is the baseline for health and if you're in a fat loss stage. Number 2, lots of time. And I've been one of these things at some part of my life, and I bet you can
I
relate.
bet we can relate. Yeah.
Lots of time exercising, training, getting your steps in, only to eat those calories back.
Oh yeah.
So like a big time I did this was training for Ironman or a marathon. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have a burger and fries and a milkshake after this. And I'm like, if I really sit down and look how many calories I just ate, it's more than what I just burned running 10 miles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, woo.
So but you feel like you can eat all that.
You do feel like you can.
Especially with weightlifting, it can really affect your hunger hormone.
Yes, exactly.
Free foods.
So that's a good one. Oh, this is another good one. So these are all things that people have come to us with. I can think of someone very specific here. You eat really clean or healthy, but you don't track your food. So this is, for instance, avocado is good for you, but you can way overeat it. This is why a lot of vegetarians honestly are overweight because they're eating all the nuts, all the avocados, and those things are great for you.
Super healthy.
But they're very high in calories.
Especially fat is 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories compared to 4 with carbs and protein. And I mean, that's dense.
And this is where the argument comes down with, at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out. And then other fitness people saying, or nutritionists saying, no, it's the quality of the food you're eating. It's both.
It's both.
It's both. Y'all can fight about it till you're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, if you are overeating, no matter if you're overeating romaine lettuce, avocados, and nuts, or you're overeating French fries, you're not going to be able to be successful in a fat loss stage. So that is a big one. This is what I used to do. Clean all day, follow my macros all day, and then at lunch, at dinner for you, after dinner
for me,
consuming all kinds of food to where you blow your entire day. So being clean during the day and overeating at night, or even more so, being super clean and tracking your macros during the week and not tracking and binging on food and wine and all the things on the weekend, so that you've ruined your day and your week of actually being in a deficit when you're trying to be in a fat loss stage. So that one's really, really common.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
That is what fixed me, right? That whole scenario right there. Because I thought restricting and under eating all day was a good thing. Now I've learned I need to fuel my body. But I also can't wait until afternoon to start fueling my body. I've got to start fueling it within an hour of waking so my metabolism is revved up. So I thought I was doing a good job with that, right? But I was severely under eating. 20 grams of protein a day. Ridiculous.
Well, and we ask you to eat, 30 to 50 grams of protein within an hour of getting up, because if you set your day right, you don't want to binge at night.
Yeah, thank you. That was the second half of my point, was I'm satisfied during the day, so I'm not doing that at night.
Yeah.
I'm having some berries as my little sweet treat after dinner, and I am good to go.
Yep. So that's a common one. Here's a big one that all of you do. Most of you. Only looking at the scale to determine if you've lost fat.
We've had some aha moments, though, even come in recently.
Yes, we have.
Look at those non-scale victories.
Yes, how you're feeling, inches, just how you look in your selfies, right? But get off the scale, please.
The scale is just a number. It doesn't say what's going on inside.
Yeah. And last but not least, having an all or nothing attitude, right? So let's say you have a day where you have a meal on a Friday where you slip up and you're like, oh, well, I blew it, so I'm just not going to do it anymore because you messed up one time, instead of getting back on track your next meal, right? So we always say it's not about perfection, it's about progress. So what? If you went out with friends spontaneously for lunch on a Friday and you did your best to try to figure out what macros would fit well into your plan, but then you wanted some of your friends' French fries and then you had a glass of wine.
Sure.
That's okay, you didn't blow it. Just for dinner, get right back on track. Don't wait till the next day. Don't wait until Monday, because that's not real life.
Well, and
real life is slipping up and getting right back on the horse.
Don't avoid it either. You taught me this. Still track it.
Yes.
And what typically happens, I'll give you a story in a second, is it's actually not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
Recently went through Chick-fil-A drive-thru, starving. I needed 12 nuggets so I could get 40 grams of protein. I was
grilled,
starving. No, regular. They fit.
Oh, you had fat.
They fit. I had fat. I have been having fat left at my day, which is weird, but
Ooh, that means you're mastering your macros.
I'm mastering my macros. I think this is gonna be my best shred. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'll just say that out there.
Good.
But it took me a while, people. It took me a while to really hone in. But anyways, back to my story. I always order. I want 12 nuggets, entree only, which means don't give me the fries.
Oh, right.
Don't give me the fries. I don't want them. I'll have like potatoes at home later, whatever. 12 nuggets, large extra or large unsweet tea. What do they give me? The fries. And I'm like so hungry that I'm like, okay, well, I got the buffalo sauce, which is like low fat and carbs. So quickly, literally pull over, look at my phone, adjust the end of the day, right, where I had some carbs saved for later. Will this regular fry fit in my day? And guess what?
It did.
It did. And I enjoy them.
Good for you.
I enjoyed them. Where normally I would have kind of been sad and wasteful and like thrown them away.
But you balanced it with so much protein too, which was good.
So much protein.
We always say, you know, oh gosh, what's the term that some people use? Like not dirty carbs, but you don't want to eat them by yourself, right? You always want to balance a carb with a protein and a fat with a protein instead of just going all carbs or all fat. So, look at these people calling themselves out. Evelyn says, this is so me, all or nothing. Shelly says for her, it's the weekend. Yeah. Terry's talking about she's starting to track her sleep. Her deep sleep is terrible. So now she's actively trying to fix that. Love it.
This is so good. I can relate to all of them.
I know. I'm like, this has been me at some point. I remember when I had Campbell and it was so hard to get the weight off. I wasn't on bed rest with her, but the last part was awful. I couldn't exercise the first trimester, blah, blah, blah. And I would eat so clean during the day and then I would lose it at night. And my friend's like, you're cluster feeding like a baby because you're trying to get the baby to sleep through the night with a full tummy. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Why am I following like the pattern that I'm giving Campbell? I don't have to cluster feed.
Cluster feed.
Yes. Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
Too funny. So those are all things that are very normal and typical, or ways that people make fat loss stage harder on themselves. But if you know what your weakness is, like this is the first time that I knew what my weakness was. It is ice cream, having it in the house. I lost the 8 pounds in about 8 weeks. I'm keeping it off. But the other day, the four of us were so tired. It was yesterday because I lifted heavy with John. I was so tired. Anne worked like the 5 a.m. shift. And then so did on Monday. And then Rocky worked it on Tuesday. We were all tired for different reasons. And I'm like texting like, I'm standing in my pantry, literally spinning in circles, looking for something sweet to eat.
Been there.
Yes, but I know I can't have it in the house. So I just called myself out. I worked hard to lose these 8 pounds. And when I say, and it's 8 pounds of fat, not muscle. So when I say, and remember, I always talk about there being a fluctuation. I've been at the top of that fluctuation, but I'm always working on muscle. But I just know I can't have it in the house. So I just stopped with the excuses. You know, I used to say, and I do believe this, I shouldn't restrict my children because I have a willpower problem. Now, I have a good friend who used to keep a colored, you couldn't see through it, bin of children's snacks, like on the bottom, so that she couldn't just walk in the pantry and see them and then would grab one because she was like, it's true. And she had boys and she was like, you know, if I see them, I'll eat them. But if I put them in a bin, that's, you know, not see-through. Yeah. Me, I just open that thing up and I just eat it. But it has been easier because my girls are of an age where we've always taught them the science behind nutrition, but they're to the point now where they really recognize it. Like Campbell, you know, coming back from 2 vacations, well, really the Bahamas, because we ate pretty clean for Lake Lore, but she was just like, I just don't feel good.
Yeah.
So recognizing that, and they don't want it in the house. Every once in a while, they'll say they want something, or we make ourselves go out to go get it. Mm-hmm. But I was so thankful I didn't have anything in the house because I would have blown my day.
Well, I love that you messaged us. That was an accountability group.
See, I have an accountability group too.
And what did I say to you?
Sorbet.
Did you have it or not?
I did. I totally forgot because I make sorbets out of fresh fruit and basically water. Sometimes I add Swerve with the Ninja Creamy, and it's so good. And I was like, Amy, you're so right. I have a raspberry one in there, which is my favorite one that I made.
Not in the pantry.
No.
It was in your freezer.
It was in my freezer.
Ready to go.
It was ready to go. So it took me 5 minutes to spin and pour some liquid in there, and it totally killed my sweet tooth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was healthy.
Well, you helped me get off the processed sugar, even if it was like healthy dark chocolate, and go for, because I know that's addictive for me, and go for fresh fruit. And the whole family now, they're like, did you cut the strawberries tonight?
Yeah.
Like, getting all the fruit ready. Blueberries, cherries. We got some really delicious cherries lately.
Yeah.
But I need to try the raspberry sorbet. That's on my agenda.
So good. You know, and fruit can blow your carbs out of the water.
You can measure.
But you can measure.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from like pineapples, mangoes, bananas, and try to have more berries. So that's how I started, right? Because my weakness is ice cream, and I had learned how to fit a pint of ice cream in with the rest of my food in a day. I basically lived off of protein-free foods and Ben and Jerry's. And so I had learned how to manage my weight and look good and feel good. And, you know, I was lifting heavy. So I always say, if you're in a surplus, lift heavy, at least turn it into muscle. But I just finally just got real with myself. Like, all right, your cholesterol's a little high.
I think you're going to see
You're
change.
about to be 45. Like, it's time to take that cholesterol number very seriously. And I know it was just the ice cream. I get it tested again on August 25th.
Cool.
I'm really anxious to see
good.
if that's improved quite a bit. But I started with berries, and I would sprinkle a little bit of Splenda on top.
Okay.
All the berries, and then now I will eat a little bit of fruit, and it might be pineapple or mango, a little bit sweeter. But after a meal, I don't really need like a sweet moment,
like a dessert or a cake. Or
because when I needed like a dessert, cake or cookie, I was eating like a whole bowl of like blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries.
Yeah, a combo too. So even if you want some pineapple, which is higher in sugar, you can still put that with other berries. I like that.
You can
combo.
But but now after a meal, my something sweet is a little bit of fruit, so I'm not blowing my carb out of the water. But pre-eat, this was awesome. For her, it's when she goes to parties. It's hard. I only drink socially. One drink and I start eating everything.
Yep.
But now I try to save macros for get-togethers, knowing that I'm not going to be perfect. So saving your carbs, you know, if you know that drinking gets you, saving your carbs and probably the majority of your fat for the party, but making sure you're filling up on protein and free foods. So we definitely, you know, like in the back of the shred guide for tips and tricks, we tell you need to eat. Like, don't not eat the whole day to save everything for that party.
Yeah.
You want to eat your protein just like you normally would on a normal day. If not, get the majority of it in. Because honestly, when you go to parties, look and see how much protein is actually around you being served as an appetizer.
Macro.
Yeah. And if they're serving protein, it's probably like got butter all over it, bacon wrapped around it. You know, you just don't sauce on it.
Right.
So you're consuming a lot of fat with it. So yeah, that's a good one, So loading up on the protein, free foods, getting satisfied, feeling full, so that when you go to the party, you can fill your carbs with some booze. And
socially drinking lately, I've been having like a Topo Chico in the bottle with lime. And I take the lime and I keep it around the rim of the bottle, and I like just keep twisting it, so when I drink the Topo Chico, I'll get that fresh lime.
Yeah.
I'm super happy without the alcohol.
Well, mocktails have gotten so popular to the point where at bars, you can say, hey, can you serve my mocktail in glass? Because a lot of times people know you're not drinking, because bars will serve non-alcoholic in plastic and alcohol in glass. But now it's very common and accepted at bars to ask for your mocktail.
And that's great.
In a glass. I'm going to go to a bar when I'm 65 and be like, don't question me. I'm pregnant. I need my mocktail in a glass. Just kidding. Hopefully I will have gone through menopause by then.
Oh boy, that was funny.
But man, the two famous people, Janet Jackson, is it Hilary Swank? Having babies at 50. God bless them.
Wow, I did not know that.
Hello, Emily. Hope you're doing good. You and Carrie both hopped on and Mama at the same time. Carrie was saying, hence the garage freezer. Out of sight, out of mind.
Smart.
Yeah.
Hi,
Christina, she's in Germany. I'm having an awakening here. They do not add sugar to basically anything. So eating way less carbs and constantly on the hunt for chicken because they eat a lot of wurst there. I'm struggling a bit. Yeah. Well, that's a cool trip though, right? So
she's living there.
I remember going to Europe and asking for ice, French fries, and the other thing that kind of grossed me out, I'm not sure if they do this in Germany, was like at breakfast buffets, their milk is room temperature.
Woo. Their hard eggs aren't cooked all the way. Their hard eggs are not hard.
Yeah, so it can be hard when you're used to a certain thing.
For sure. I hope you're loving Germany, Christina.
Kerri, I'm having a little anxiety about uncertainty with dinner tomorrow at a seminar from 3:30 to 8:30.
Load up on protein because they're not going to feed it to you.
Serving dinner, but I don't know what. Yeah.
It'll be fat and carbs.
So my daughter's at cheer camp.
Yeah.
And we had heard that last year, now they're at a different location, last year the food was really bad.
Oh.
So loaded her up in her suitcase with food.
Smart.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only mom that's stressed out of 65 cheerleaders, because it's varsity, JV, and freshman, the importance of her eating protein.
Yeah.
So I put protein shakes in there.
Smart.
Already mixed up, ready to go, that she likes. We had taste tested. We know what she likes.
Cool.
Chopsticks.
Yeah.
We went to Costco, and they had all kinds of travel sizes of, beef jerky, but not teriyaki, because that's loaded with sugar. So you've got to look at the label. This was her idea. I love, like, this is when you know, like, it's sinking in.
It's sinking in.
So they know, like, something I tell them is, like, if you're going to eat carbs, let's eat it with some protein. If we're going to eat high fat, let's eat it with some protein. Like, you can have whatever you want. Let's just balance it with some protein. They know protein is the most important one. Macro, it's the only macro you can't live without. But she was like, I said, okay, we're not doing tuna, because roommates will gross them out. I said, but they do have packets of chicken.
Oh, yeah.
So we went down to that aisle, which is probably not the best chicken, but it's better than her not eating, because they're literally working out from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. So I was like, look, they have all these different chicken packets. They've got barbecue flavor, buffalo, lemon pepper, and they had chicken salad. And of course, we flipped over the back to look at the nutrition content, because sometimes barbecue sauce can be high in sugar.
Right.
Chicken salad high in fat.
Yeah.
All of them were pretty decent.
Wow.
She's like, Mom, these would be amazing to mix in my Velveeta, like, macaroni and cheese, because I had to give her, like, the cup one.
Oh, for microwave?
Yeah, microwave.
Ah, yeah.
So when most of the girls, which we talked, are just eating mac and cheese, she's mixing the chicken in there to at least get protein with her carbs.
She's so smart. She's going to come out feeling so good, so strong.
Yes.
Her immune system's going to be stronger.
Yes.
Like, all those things that
Make
can't
sure she's
when
taking
you're,
her
like,
vitamins.
yeah,
I've been still
stressing your body.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having her drink a electrolyte drink every single day.
Good.
For muscle recovery. Instead of, she's like, should I bring icy hot? That's what the coaches are. I'm like, that don't work. We gotta work from the inside. All right. So let's get some electrolyte, mix. And anyway, so there's creative ways. There are things that, and that mac and cheese, it's high carbs. Fat's actually not that bad. But it's only like 200 calories. So mixing the protein in there, I'm talking to Kerri, basically, you want to eat the food that they have there.
Right.
But when in doubt, or if you're traveling or having a packet of tuna, like, literally, I remember Ellington too was like, they don't give us any time to eat. We had 15 minutes. There's a line. I had to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. So I said, put your food in your backpack when you go to the bathroom. Eat something when you're in the bathroom, or on your way to the bathroom, or in the line at the bathroom. If you don't know if you're going to be able to eat, like, at the table. She's like, okay, Mom, I got it. So, I mean, I never leave the house without any source of, at least 3 sources of protein in my bag, because I never know where I'm going to be, where I'm stuck. Or I just don't want to eat what's in front of me.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to brag on my girl too. I do. I'm not gonna give you the whole story, but just know, a little public service announcement. If you have extreme cold or extreme heat, it can wear your battery down. My car broke down the other day.
What happened?
Yeah, I haven't told you the whole story. And
I bet Steve just said,
I had to
this is why the car needs to be in the garage.
Yeah, pretty much. And anyways, my girl was with me. She'll be a senior as well, and we were hydrated, but freaking hot.
Oh.
This amazing fireman helped us get across the intersection by jumping my car, and it putted. I haven't told you the story. You would have been laughing so hard.
Well, I don't know. I know that was
not
scary.
He came out of nowhere. He was like my angel. He pulled next to me so I could get over a lane, pulled next to me so I could get over 3 lanes at the busiest intersection in the Woodlands, got into the Walgreens parking lot eventually, had to jump me again because I couldn't have enough power to get up the hill. It was so bad, but Kinsey ran in to use the restroom, and she was taking forever. I'm like, what the heck? I can't leave the car.
Right.
Are you okay? And I'm texting her, and she comes out. She goes, Mom, I got this for you. Beef jerky. Now, it's not organic, but it's non-GMO, and it doesn't have sugar, and blah, blah, blah. I hope you like it. I'm like, rip. I was starving.
Yeah.
And I in a good way. I'm hungry because my metabolism's revved up and it was time to eat, but we were stranded and it was going to be a while. She got me beef jerky and she got me those, she's like, you might want something sweet. And they're I forget the name of them, but they're like the low carb, like Swedish fish. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. They're like the organic ones. Those are at the checkout.
They have peach rings, which remind me of my dad. But anyways,
Fruit salad.
But she was so sweet, and I was like, she gets it. She gets it. Mama's hungry, and she knows like
you need protein.
She didn't bring me just like Pringles, right?
Yeah.
Like she brought a little combo of protein first. So
and
a water, a big Fiji water.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Like, thank you. How sweet are you?
Well, Dawn is part of our meal prep program because she's local, and she said she had our Mastermind Macros turkey mac and cheese. Never would have thought to mix it. It was very good. So our meal prep program, we're using bonza noodles, which are higher in protein, higher in fiber. It is really good with a cheese powder. So yeah, it was one of, but the one that we have in our cookbook that you have, that one's not on Amazon anymore, but there's one, that's exactly like it. It's a different brand. I will actually ask our meal prep partners which one they're using, and we will text you with that brand. But I think if you go on Amazon and you type in the brand that we like to use, it won't come up. I think it was that Anthony's cheese powder. I forget.
It was Anthony, yeah.
The one that is the same, which is a different company. Mm-hmm. It's the same macros and everything. But I'll let you know because actually our meal prep partners asked us about that too. And so we just looked at the profiles and it was fine. But good, Dawn. I'm so glad about that. Hoosier Hill Farm. Looked at the meal. Thank you. Let's see. I think that's it.
So the last thing I want to say, and it really rides on the tail of what you were talking about and what you listed today, like all the different reasons that I could relate at some point in my life to what you listed. Mastermind Macros is fun. And it took me a little while to wrap my brain around that. It's fun to see that if you follow a program, it actually works. And it's not restrictive, because we were like adamant that we were not going to be restrictive.
Yeah, we're not going to be restrictive. Yeah.
Don't tell us we can't have something, because that's all
we're going to go
eat.
That's our personality.
So we're both like that. So, and we don't want to tell people what to eat. It's got to be foods that you love. But I wanted to reiterate, like, and we've had different clients respond too. It's not like, oh, I'm on a diet. Like, like this is fun and it works. And
well, the people that are most successful are our shredders who have fun with it and look at it as a puzzle. What foods can I eat that fit into my macros? And I know it takes a lot of time in the beginning, but once you do that initial legwork, then you just put it on repeat. It gets easier. Tracking food is not fun, but what you don't measure, you cannot improve. Yeah. That's in anything. Money, grades, sports, it comes to your food too. Like, if you can't measure it, you cannot improve it. I think tracking is a really positive thing.
What makes it real?
Yeah.
And it's data.
And eventually you're not always having to track, but you are tracking maybe, 1 week of every month or 2 weeks out of every quarter, as your clothes maybe are tighter or too loose. It can go in both directions. If someone starts to undereat after repairing your metabolism, it's easy to slip back into old habits.
I've been there.
So in those moments, that's when you're like, I got to start tracking again.
Right.
That's more of like speaking to graduates, but it's good. And you got to have fun. It's a good approach. And I love our community because we all talk to each other. Oh, and I wanted to say, speaking of protein, this is what we're giving away today. So Stacey's protein bombs.
Oh my gosh, they're delicious.
Stacey's sweets. So long story, Stacey Sweets. So Stacey is she works full-time. This is her side hustle, single mom, but she's had Stacey Sweets for years.
Yes.
And when she heard about Mastermind Macros, because she's had a client at another studio, not even a partner studio.
Right.
She was like, hey, can I advertise these as protein bombs? And I looked at the macros on what she had and I was like, no, you cannot. I was like, so I introduced her to some different ingredients that are a little bit more expensive, but I was like, really, you need the same amount of protein as either carbs or same amount of protein as fat, and neither fat or carbs can be through the roof. You have to find a way to balance it. And by the way, it can't be net carbs. It has to be total carbs. So she worked, I want to say, for a good 6 to 8 months. Like I said, she bakes sweets. Stacey's Sweets is her thing for years.
Yeah.
But she has actually perfected a protein bomb, which each one is only 60 calories, 3 grams of fat, 3 grams of protein, and 6 grams of total carbs, not even net carbs. So
they're so good.
When she sent us samples, I was like, Stacey, well done. These are good and way better than the protein bombs. We were talking, I was like, I've got protein bombs in my pantry from Costco, but these are better macro profile,
better quality ingredients,
ingredients, not full of weird stuff. So you can freeze these, they last forever, but we're giving away 3 bags. We are now carrying them in our studios because they're just a great little sweet treat for people that need them, that maybe don't want a Built Bar, or can't find, like the other day, I really wanted to rip a bag open the other day. And I was like, no, we bought them for the studio. We bought them for giveaways. I was like, I'm not taking one of the bags when I wanted something sweet. So that is what we're giving away today. So I think I've got everyone's names in here. You want to hold? I think you drew last time.
You get to draw. 1, 2, 3. Who's gonna get them?
1, 2, 3. Amy Smith.
Oh, hey.
Let's see. Katherine Hernandez.
Oh, yay.
And
one more. That's one.
KERRI Dakin.
Yay. Oh,
So
that's awesome.
we will get those protein bombs
For
to
sure.
you. Congratulations. Rolling into week 5, you will not be motivated.
So we're in week 5.
Oh, we're in week 5.
Because
We are?
today's Wednesday.
Oh, you're right. We are in week
26th.
5. Yes.
Week 5 started the 24th.
But it's Wednesday. Yeah.
We're
My bad.
off on the days. It's still summer.
In week 5, you're in
Yes.
your hardest weeks of the fat loss stage, if that's what your goal is. So again, motivation's not going to get you through it. You have to lean into all the hard work, hopefully you put in the very beginning, and you just put this on repeat.
Reach out to us if you have any questions,
Yeah,
any hiccups.
I wanted to highlight Preet because she had a really good question about, I think she likes change, is what I'm getting from some of the text messages we've had from her. And she was talking about the steps are getting daunting. Are there different things you can do to replace the 10,000 steps? So the whole idea is steps is, it's just moving throughout the day. It's not supposed to be your workout, but it's not in addition to your workout. So if you run for your workout, that actually gets to be included in your step count for the day. That's where sometimes Pure Barre, I've talked to Shelly about this, will kill your step total because it's not a workout where you move a lot. You're squeezing your muscles, right? So you don't get a lot towards your steps and you still need to hit your step goal. But, we've worked with people with knee and hip issues, they have to ride their bike or they have to swim. Now, when we were talking to Preet, she's like, oh man, that's a lot of swimming, or that's a lot of riding the bike to equate 10,000 steps. But the whole idea between steps is that you're moving throughout the day, not trying to get a huge chunk at certain times. But anyway, Preet was great. She was like, it's getting daunting. Instead of quitting, she's like, what else can I do? Can I bike? Can I swim? What does that look like? And so we broke that down for her, what you had to do to equal 10,000 steps. But yeah, it was good. Yeah.
That was a really good question.
Ask us those questions. We can do whatever we can. We helped another client through breathing. She was holding her breath while she was lifting. That can be a big issue. Ellington, as a gymnast, would hold her breath and she would come back with broken little
blood vessels.
They weren't blood vessels. It looked like someone like splatter painted her face. Gotcha. And they would go away. But I'm like, it's because you're holding your breath. It's very, very common in CrossFit.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that breath work, right? Something I cue in my classes: inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Your exhale should always be longer than your inhale. That's the part where most people won't finish off and let you know. Really focus on your exhales being longer than your inhales, but fill up those lungs and get it all out.
One last thought I'm going to leave you with is, what do I need to accomplish today, and how can I have the most fun possible while doing it?
Yes.
Whether it's moving, fitting in your macro puzzle, all the things. Have fun.
Yeah.
Right? You just said it earlier today. Life is short.
Life is really short. Let's have fun while we're doing it. Let's feel good and have fun.
Sounds good.
All right. Love ya.
Mean it.
Mwah.